Well, and good Monday morning to you. My name is Josh, and I get the absolute pleasure of serving as the online ministries director right here at Pekin First. And what a wonderful Monday morning it is! It is a little chilly outside. It's about zero. Yep, it's it's a little chilly for sure. So make sure you bundle up good and take that hot coffee like I have right here in front of me and warm that car up for sure as you get ready to start the day. And I'd like to remind everyone to like, follow, and subscribe to this podcast. This is just a great way to wake up Monday mornings, right? And hit the floor, let your feet hit the floor in a great mood. And we just, here we like to thank God for every day and everything. So thank God that you are able to put your feet on the floor and get up and do your thing today. Recap of this week. Oh man, just how cold, snowy and cold. And the snow was absolutely beautiful. And I know Pastor Sean was just in amazement. And I was talking to his wife, Sandra, and she's like, there's a nostalgia about it. There's a nostalgia about the snow because they lived in Florida for so long. And she's just like, it makes me feel like a kid again. And I told her, I'm like, oh, I see snow and all I see is work, right? I got a shovel and I got a plow and all the things. But it's reviving to me to see somebody that appreciates the things that we take for granted, for sure. People that are born and raised in the South some of them don't ever see snow. So, I guess be grateful for the snow, be grateful for the crews that clear the roads and keep us safe. Do be careful. There is some slick spots out there. I did slide a little bit on my way into the church here. We are coming to you live from the Pekin First studio, where I am nice and warm for sure. Looking forward, our weather today, it's going to be 29, so that snow is going to start to melt, so be careful. There's going to definitely be some slick spots out there, and so it'll be 29 today, partly cloudy. Tomorrow's 39. We're going to really see it start to melt tomorrow, but as the temperatures cool down at night, everything's going to freeze over, so just be very, very careful, and I know the salt crews will be out and stuff like that, so just be careful. Wednesday, 41, partly cloudy, and then it looks like rain on Thursday. I don't like to go that far out just because the weather changes, right? God has different plans, so but it does look like for the rest of the week, we're going to stay above freezing and into the weekend. All right, current faith growth things that Pekin First has going on. We got the Sunday message that you can connect with on any of our podcast platforms, Spotify, Apple Podcast. You can even just tell Amazon, you can tell Alexa just to play the Sunday message and she'll do it for you, from the Sunday message from Pekin First, and she'll do it for you. So, or however you got your voice configured there on Alexa. This week, on the Sunday message is the Songs of Advent, is the current sermon series we're in with Pastor Sean. And this one is Joy to the World. He uses a reference that I've always found fascinating, and that is the Peanuts reference, the Peanuts Christmas. I've always loved that. That's a classic, of course. And I love that movie. That's nostalgic to me. Like Sandra was talking about, the snow's nostalgic to her. Peanuts is nostalgic to me, and they bring faith into a cartoon, and it's just awesome. So he does reference Peanuts, so I highly recommend you go back and you listen on one of those platforms to this week's sermon. What we do is we take out all the things around the sermon and just insert the sermon, and that way it's about a 20-25 minute sermon. A great time to listen to it is on your way to work or wherever you're going. It's about a 20-minute drive. We have the Pekin First podcast that happened this week as well, called I'm Still Here. And the basis behind this is, as we either get older or we advance in our careers or whatever it may be, sometimes we feel left out of a group or whatever, and just feeling like you have worth to whatever it is you're working on, such as at a job, at a project, and just, as you advance in your career, sometimes you feel left behind or out of the group or out of the mix, if you will. And as in our case, as our kids start to get older, and I know several couples that are going through this, as your kids start to get older, they don't need you as much. So you feel left out of their lives. And, we have kids having kids. We've got grandson just born last Sunday. So, they're going on with their lives and they don't need you as much. They do need you, but not near as much. And sometimes you just feel left out. And so that's what that podcast is all about. I encourage you again to listen to it on any of the podcast platforms. We have the Deep Dive Bible Study that happens every Sunday here at the church in the conference room at 9 a.m. I highly recommend that Bible study. It's a good one. And they go through some books and they just dig into faith on a deep dive. Kids, it's too cold to run around outside and too icy to run around outside and you can run around in the snow. That's always fun, right? Go sledding and stuff. But you got to have somewhere to just get that energy out. And Unite Kids happens Wednesday from 6 to 7, and at Bible Buddies happens there. Now, we do this over at Grace because of the gym and the ability for the kids to be able to get the energy out, right? We want them to be able to run around and do their thing. So that we do some Bible lessons. Bible Buddies does their thing, and Unite Kids does their thing. We run around the gym a little bit. We play some games. It's a great time. It's a great way to get your kids to interact with other kids and know that it's in a good environment for sure. So that happens over at Grace from 6 to 7, the pre-K through second graders that go to Unite Kids, and then Bible Buddies happens for third through sixth graders. At 5:30, there's a little snack that happens. So if you just want to try to get to know people or whatever, it's kids and adults. If you're going to Bible study over at Grace, you can just hop in there and interact with all the kids and maybe help out a little bit from 5:30 to 6, and then from 6 to 7, all the good things happen. We got youth group going on. Sandy Delgado is doing a fantastic job. We had a little bit of a kabobble, but we have the lock-in that happens December 28th. Now, December 29th, they were going to go up north and go to it's called a ministry called Feed My Starving Children, and they were going to do that on the 29th. And Sandy's like, "Whoop, time out. I'm going to be up all night the 28th. So going the 29th is not a good idea. So they're going to reschedule that serving opportunity for the youth group. But January 9th through the 11th, they're going to go through the winter retreat. It's a good way for the kids to put down the cell phone for a second and just have fun as a kid. And with the youth group, it's a great time. The youth retreats are always a lot of fun. Your youth will come back changed for life. And in faith, we hope they will, with their faith, stronger in their faith. So it's a great time. It's a good way for your kid to, or if you're listening as a youth and you go, man, I am on my phone a lot, or I just need to interact with other people, this is a great way to do it. January 9th through the 11th. All right. And, so we were supposed to ring bells for the Salvation Army on December 13th. Well, it was a little chilly. So Reverend Judy Doyle and her husband and my daughter and Janet Colvis ended up going to Value Check. We were supposed to ring at Walmart, and then with the weather coming, they moved us all to Value Check. Well, then it got really, really cold, and it just got too cold. So they rang inside just for a couple hours and tried to do what they could. It was too cold, too nasty out for people to get out and ring the bell. So we'll see what happens with that. But apparently, I got a text from Reverend Judy, and I talked to Janet Colvis. They all had a blast just hanging out and ringing the bell and dancing a little bit and just having a good old time and raising money for the Salvation Army. So kudos to enjoying the weather, if you will, and having a good time no matter what, and appreciating the weather. Great news, maybe not great news, but exciting news. The Open Table Cafe, starting in February, we're going to do this every other month. So before we were doing this once a quarter, and now we're going to do this every other month. And we need people many hands make light work. So we need people to help serve and read devotions and greet people and cook if that is your talent. It's a great time. Just serving the community that needs it, the people that are hungry, the people that just need a hot meal, especially in February. It's still going to be cold. So we're just, we're doing it every other month, and it is just a great ministry. So if you know somebody that wants to volunteer, or you want to volunteer, just contact info@pekinfirst.org, and Geraldine can hook you up for sure. Also, if you know somebody that needs a hot meal, man, just tell them every other month, Pekin First on the first week. I think it's going to be the first week of the month. I don't know that, but we'll get more details on that on the website for sure coming up. Speaking of serving and all the things, we have the snack pack ministry that's happening. So look up the dates on that. We could really use some help with that and donations with that as well. Christmas Eve. Let's talk a little bit about Advent and Christmas Eve just for a second. Christmas Eve, we've got 2 services that happen here at Pekin First, and we've got one that happens at 7 a.m. That is the more traditional Christmas Eve service with the choir and the bells, and both services, the 7 p.m. and the 11 p.m., will have the candle lighting things and the celebration of that. So come join us on Christmas Eve. 7 p.m. is the traditional service. And then 11 p.m., this is a very special service for a lot of us, just because a lot of churches here in town don't do an 11 p.m. service. And there's something to be said about coming in on Christmas Eve, coming into the church on Christmas Eve, and leaving on Christmas Day. And again, it's nostalgic. It's special in my heart for sure. So I encourage you, if you've never experienced that and you have the opportunity, yes, it's a late night. Yes, because it's an early morning, it hurts a little bit. But you know what? Jesus is born, and celebrating that and walking in on Christmas Eve and walking out on Christmas Day is something to be said. And the people that are here, and that's going to be an acoustic service, very beautiful. The Pekin Worship Band does a fantastic job of bringing that mood in and just doing it all. We have very talented individuals in the Pekin First Band, and we thank them for everything that they do. And this will be a fantastic service. I am 100% sure. All right, the Monday Mindful Moment. This is going to be another moment of mine. I have to. My daughter has been trying out for volleyball now. My daughter went from cheer to volleyball. She did not like the cheer scene, or was not entertained, we'll call it, by the cheer scene. So she switched to volleyball in June and started, 3 days a week practicing volleyball. And every opportunity this little girl got, I say little girl, she's 13. This girl she was practicing volleyball up against a wall, up against her mom got her a thing, to practice with, and outside, just constantly practice. And she tried out she played in a tournament style, how they teach them how to play, what happens when you're playing in a tournament, how do the rules go and stuff like that. She went through all that. She did a ton of work, and she tried out for the volleyball team this week in Metamora, and made the volleyball team. Very proud of her. Congratulations, Emily. And yeah, it was very good. So awesome for her. Today is her first practice, and I wish her the best of luck. So if she's also, my oldest daughter was telling me, she's like, yeah, I remember not making it. And sometimes the best lesson you can learn is not to make something, because it either makes you work harder or realize that wasn't God's plan for you. And sometimes you make it, and that's what God's plan is. So just keep an eye out for God's plan, follow his plan, follow his word. Take time today to close your eyes, preferably not while you're driving, to close your eyes and just thank God for the blessings he's put into your life, and just everything we have. Thank him for the snow. I know Sandra and Sean are very excited about the snow, and they bring new light. When you talk to them, they bring new light to just appreciating the snow. And so, yeah. So remember, God put us here to do great things. So let's go do great things.